get anywhere, so they tell me. It's just another step in the process. Evolution leads the way. 'Cause something's gotta change if you want progress. Stop standing in your own way and let the fear inside inspire movement to get on up and out the kitchen door. 'Cause the best way out of hell is through it, and you've been there before. So take another step in the process. Go forward all the way, and be not proud nor myopic. Just see life for what it is. It's just another step. Now take a look over your shoulder and see how far you've come. Then take a look ahead toward the future and see the work yet to be done. And take another and then another step in the process. Evolution leads the way. 'Cause something's gotta change if you want progress. Stop standing in your own way and take another step.
Frank Critelli, Take Another Step, performing live on WNHH's Acoustic Thursday.
Hello, Paul Bass. How are you?
Studio 51. Hello, Frank Critelli.
It's nice to see you.
It's great to see you. Thanks for coming in the studio.
Thanks for having me, man.
This is our weekly, or some weeks on Thursdays, live performance of local performers. And
I watched it on the Facebook live stream.
And what an honor to have a great Frank on today. Thanks for coming in, Frank. And you came in at a good time playing a song from your new album, live at Boneheads.
Yep.
Which I've listened to and enjoyed.
Thank you.
Well, as soon as I saw the title, I said, well, I'm a bonehead, so like that's for me.
Yeah, everybody's a bonehead, right? The neck bone connected to the head bone, right? Something like that.
And this is an album you play with 4 of your friends?
Yeah, Mark Morando on keys, Bobo Livornia on the bass guitar, and Jim Stavros on the drums. We just hung out at Tom Boudreau. He's the bonehead of Bonehead Studios in Cheshire, Connecticut. We went to his house, and we jammed for about 90 minutes. And we just rolled tape, and that's what we left with.
Frank, you've been a musician here for how many decades?
A long time, 3 decades, about. I rolled into New Haven around 91.
What brought you here?
I went to graduate school at Quinnipiac College. It was college at the time. Most of the buildings that are there now were piles of dirt while I was there. Except for that bagel building. The bagel building was there, and that was always fun.
Oh, Marvin Lender.
The round one. Yeah, that was cool, man. I always wanted to ride a
Giant, which is nice.
Oh, Sleeping Giant's great. I always wanted to ride a skateboard in that round in the bagel building.
So you become a real staple of the scene. You're a musician, a singer, songwriter, performer. You host a lot of live events. You're on 2 radio shows.
Yeah,
New Haven's really doing this music. You're a full-time music person, right?
No, I'm a groundskeeper during the day.
Where do you work?
I work on a convent in Meriden, Connecticut.
Oh, that's nice. What convent is that?
The Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist.
How long have you done that?
Going on 10 years now.
Is that nice? I mean, does it feel peaceful?
It's beautiful. Yeah, I don't work with them. I work for them, and I work mostly in isolation. There's 3 guys that work in the barn. We call them the barn boys. Me and Mickey. Mickey's the tree guy. He does a lot of the heavy lifting. And brother Leo. He's kind of like the foreman.
Is he a brother?
Yep, he's a Franciscan brother. And he's a nice fella, and we have a great time.
What do you do on the grounds?
Well, I do a lot of the heavy lifting too, but taking care of the plants and pruning a lot of stuff.
It is going to seem like way out.
Yeah.
Maybe
way out. Way out.
The other day I was talking to someone, about how everyone's feeling about this election and how dispirited or fearful.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
He said he's planting a new garden.
Oh, I like the
And
metaphor.
and that it's going to be okay.
I really do. I think it's going to be okay. I think we're gonna be okay.
That's something about plants and being grounded, and you can control what you control. You control what you can't control.
Yep, that's the truth. You reap what you sow.
So Frank, tell me about that song. It's done with the full band on the album. I know, and I kind of like the feel of its kind of brightness. Let it good feel to it.
It's an encouraging song. Mostly, I think for me. I think when I wrote it, at the time, I was not feeling good and kind of just hanging around the house.
It felt like you were singing it to yourself.
Yeah, but I think like anything, if I'm thinking about something, I'm figuring that a whole lot of other people are thinking about it too, probably. So that's the beauty of songs. I think you can write something that's very personal, and whatever your situation is, and spin it so that it makes sense to a whole lot of other people, and maybe even on a different level. Like when you talk about, get out of your own way. Like if you want change, you got to move forward. You can't stay in the same spot.
And is this an exaggeration that in a number of your songs, while you might start dipping your toes into what's a dark place, you like to come out of it optimistically, give somebody hope? It's sort of like Woody Guthrie says he doesn't like songs that make you feel beat down.
Right.
Like nobody.
Oh,
he wrote about real
absolutely.
things like immigrants being mistreated, Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
But he kind of had this appreciation for life and wanting to leave you at the end of the song with someplace you can walk forward and rather than feeling beaten down.
Yeah, nobody wants to feel bad. There's plenty of reasons to feel bad. We sing songs to feel good, We sing songs to feel good about maybe bad stuff, So, yes, I always love the dichotomy between a serious lyric and an upbeat melody. And I think that's what I do most of the time.
And so how did you pick the 5 songs for this album?
We just went in and we chose 3 songs that we had done in the past, songs that, we knew and they were our songs, ones that we have played before, like at the Daffodil Festival in Meriden or something like that. And I wanted to do 2 brand new ones, so I just sort of sprung them on them.
Ones that you wrote?
Yeah, ones that I wrote, but ones that they had never played. And those are the level of musicians those guys are.
Well, you said you guys used to be in a band together, and
Yeah.
then people went off and did their own projects.
Right.
And then I think you said you had a day free where you all can come back together, so it was like picking up where you left off.
That's what it felt like for me, yeah. Just to maybe do something that you promised yourself you were going to do. Hey, weren't we going to record a record at some point? Yeah, whatever happened to that? Let's check that one. Let's check that box. While we got the time.
So Frank Critelli, just learned a lot about you just now. They never knew.
You did? Thank you. Tell me something about you.
Well, I'm hosting Acoustic Thursday at Studio 51 on WNHH, New Haven's home for community radio.
And we all appreciate that.
And we all appreciate having Frank Critelli here performing live.
I'm happy to be here.
You got another song for us?
I sure do.
What you got?
Well, let's do this. This is...
and if you wouldn't mind facing me, if possible, maybe moving the mic.
Well, what if I sat down? Would that be easier?
Yeah, I'll move the mic for you.
I might just do this. Yeah.
Frank knows a lot about moving mics as he does his own recording and performing.
As it turns out, I talk into microphones a lot.
And if you wouldn't mind these mics need you a little bit close with your mouth.
Okay.
Not all the way.
I'm going to try to get as close as I can.
Or if you can move it closer.
There's a song on this new record, and it's called Frank Critelli's Dream number 456.
And is it a deliberate reference to the Bob Dylan's Dream on his original?
Yeah.
What number was that? I forget.
Number 26, 27. He had a few. I think he had a few of them.
Okay.
And maybe up to number 51. Who knows? But it's a sequel song to Frank Critelli's Dream number 1 through 3.
What happened on that one?
Well, none of them were actually dreams. In the first dream, in the first song, they were just sort of surreal moments. Kind of like when you put everything together and everything made sense just fleetingly, and then it all goes away pretty fast. As quickly as it comes on you, it goes away. But it was just sort of like being in a moment and recognizing that moment as like a haiku. You know what I mean? Like this is cool. Like right now, this particular thing has some sort of significance.
Last year, I was fortunate enough to visit the Bob Dylan Museum in Tulsa.
Oh, wow.
And the staircase to the second floor has one word per stair as you read up.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "You could be in my dream if I could be in yours."
Love that.
Okay, Frank, hit it.
Thank you.
Frank Critelli.
I dreamt I saw St. Joseph. He was loading up a van with blisters on his hands, an ever strong and ever gentle family man. And then I saw the Virgin Mary, and she was driving in a car, returning from the grocery store, so beautiful, maternal, and adorable. And I dreamt I was there when their eyes met. It was love at second guess. And I could see that they could see they were blessed. And I dreamt I was friends with Da Vinci. We sat in my backyard, he beat me every time at cards. We talked of love and death and God and stars. And then along came Albert Einstein, and we got drunk on Chardonnay. They talked all night and the next day, and I listened but I didn't dare to say that I dreamt I was there when their minds met and sparked with a shared understanding that birth and death are accidents, life is random. That's right. And I dreamt I was singing a tune under a strawberry moon, but the words came out all wrong, and no one liked the song that I had written and had practiced for so long. And then we all drove home, each of us alone, and we thought about our words and what we saw and what we heard, and we realized a miracle occurred. That we were there together, all in the same room, for better or worse, that connects us in the universe.
Frank Critelli's Dream Number
1, 2, 3.
Here live on Acoustic Thursday from his new album, Live at Boneheads. You can find it on Bandcamp.
That one's from an older album.
Oh, that's from an older album.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I could do number 4, 5, 6, but it's so much better on the record, you know?
Yeah, I noticed about the record because you have the instrumentation, you have to decide what to play solo.
Yeah.
I really like that song.
Thank you.
And it kind of, when you are consciously riffing on music that came before, which I think all music and art is, right? It's riffing on what came before and adding your own to it. You don't claim you were the first person that ever had an idea to play a G chord with a D, but you can play it your way based on what's come before and what you bring to it. Same with academic research, the advancement of knowledge. Would you agree with all that?
Yes. And there's a rich tradition of plagiarism in this country.
But when is it plagiarism?
I'm not really sure.
Like, this is not remotely plagiarism, but when I hear that song and I know you're doing Bob Dylan's Dream, I'm thinking of Albert Einstein bumming a cigarette on Desolation Row.
Ah, cool.
Right? And
That's
I
great.
think you weren't thinking of that, but of course that had to be in your mind somewhere because you probably listened to Highway 61
1,000 times.
endless times.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I don't think it's plagiarism. I think it's art to do that.
Well, I could play you a song that really skirts the line, and it's on the new record, too.
You mean,
It skirts the line of plagiarism.
Isn't it a pity?
No. Well, no, that's just a cover song. I wrote a song on this record called Brazilian Rosewood.
Well, yeah, because that's like Norwegian wood, but I thought that was a play on that because you kind of...
It is. It's a total play, but it's also a total ripoff because I take every lyric in the song.
But given how many millions, hundreds of millions of times people have heard that song, you're not pretending you're not ripping it off.
Right.
You're doing a version of it.
No, I'm totally deliberately ripping the song off.
Were you also conscious of the time Bob Dylan did a hilarious takeoff on that song?
No. I'm looking it up on Google
Blonde
now, man.
Blonde on Blonde. There's a song called Fourth Time Around.
Okay.
And that's after they had met and he got them stoned for the first time. It is the most hilarious. And when you first heard the song, you thought, well, Dylan's is kind of tired on this one. But when you realize it's a goof on Norwegian Wood,
wow,
it is such a hilarious, droll takeoff on this sort of serendipity and the Lennon believing he was being kind of heavy by being kind of talking about random thoughts about weird things they said when he went home and they were in the tub. I think Fourth Time Around is a very hilarious takeoff. So now Frank Critelli is not ripping off Bob Dylan because that's just in the ether and you didn't know.
Maybe.
But you took your hand on spoofing Norwegian Wood.
Right.
I even was going to ask you about that Brazilian Rosewood. Why did you decide to do that?
It happened in the grocery store. I didn't even realize there was music piped in the Stop and Shop in Meriden, you know. But I was there, and it was early in the morning, and all of a sudden I heard the song, you know what I mean? And it's coming in through the pipes in the grocery store.
What were you buying?
Toilet paper, a lemon, you know.
You really remember that?
Well, that's what I always buy.
Okay.
You know, I only go to Stop and Shop for a couple of things.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, lemon and toilet paper. I don't eat much, Paul.
I hope you're eating a lemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's delicious. I like it with hot water at night. You know.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's good.
Do you do the rind at all too, or just squirt the?
I put the whole thing in there. You know. Yeah. Sometimes I'll use that squeezer. You know, the lemon squeezer.
So you're in Stop and Shop. When was that?
Over the summer. And
Norwegian Wood's on. And I have that feeling too, you don't realize what you're listening to.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking of other things, and all of a sudden you realize sometimes what you've been listening to.
Right. And then all of a sudden, like, I went to this weird spot in my head, and I started to think about, I read the book called The Beatles in Their Own Words, and I know what that song is about. You know what I mean? And it's about an affair that he was trying to disguise, you know? So all of a sudden, new words started coming into my head, and like that told more of the story. You know what I mean? Of this, I thought anyway. And I left the toilet paper and the lemon, and I went home, and it fell right out. And I knew it was terrible. I knew it was stolen.
But that's not stolen.
I'm not sure if it is or
not. If
not.
you clearly do a take on a song everybody knows, and you make it into a different version.
I mean, but if I say
that's a hot legal bar, Frank. There's no one we could.
Had a girl.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm using the second. You know, the line. It's later on, too. I steal every line in the song. And now, like Todd Snyder, the songwriter, might tell you that, you can steal like 8 words in a row, and it's not played.
Funny, that guy.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, but I think if you do it repeatedly, if you steal 8 lines from that guy repeatedly in the same song.
We're going to let our listeners decide. All right. Okay, everybody. Frank Critelli is going to play Brazilian Rosewood from his new album, Live at Boneheads. The officers are being distracted to go to floor 4 and not arrest you for plagiarism.
Oh, yeah. Is that them at the door right now?
Yeah, it is, but they steered them over upstairs.
Right. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right with you, fellas.
Okay, Frank, hit it.
I once had a girl, and she will think this song's about her. But what do I care? She showed me her room with that look in her eyes, and it took me by surprise. Now what would you do? Did she think I was someone else? When she offered up herself, we sat on a rug. I was watching the time. Her breath was like wine, and her legs open wide. We talked until 2, then did what people do, till she was snoring on the bed, and I fell asleep instead. Had I learned from experience, I'd have known that this was a future regret. And when I awoke, I had to go to work. Now where is my shirt? This is gonna hurt. So I lit a fire at the end of a joint. Now what was my point? And I watched the sunrise. She came to me from afar, and isn't it good? written on a guitar of Brazilian rosewood.
Brazilian Rosewood. Frank Critelli channeling the Beatles' Norwegian Wood on Live at Boneheads. Is that a Brazilian Rosewood guitar?
No, this is a maple guitar, but the Brazilian Rosewood, I was recently...
Martins?
Yeah, you can't get it in America anymore, I don't believe. But the old Martin guitars, a lot of them are made out of Brazilian rosewood. And I was recently, about 2 years ago at this point, gifted my mentor's 1968 Martin guitar. And I wrote that song on that guitar.
Oh,
and
who's your mentor?
Augustin Grapp of Middletown, New York.
That's kind of nice. So there's no way that was theft.
Oh, thanks.
So now we're here. Tell me if I'm getting too heavy or too in the outer space here.
Okay.
So you're at Stop and Shop. You're not realizing what you're listening to until you do.
Yeah.
Do we walk through every day with channels playing in our heads at all times? We don't always focus on what they are. One channel's playing songs you've heard and thought about, experiences we're replaying in our dreams and in alive, songs that might be playing or birds that might be singing, we're paying attention, we're not paying attention, thoughts we're having, and that all mashes up in our creative process. So it's always borrowing and repurposing, and it's never stealing. What do you think?
I totally
or maybe
agree.
Todd Snyder's right, 8 words.
Right. Yeah. Could both be true.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Frank Critelli, give me some of the lowdown. So how you've been doing 2 radio, you run Cygnus Radio, which is an online radio station.
I don't run Cygnus Radio, but I work with Cygnus Radio. Gary Gahn, Dennis Lamar, and Rick Allison really run the ship.
And does it have a good
Cygnus Radio.
listenership? Is it a?
It has a great listenership, and it has great disc jockeys. Really, people who know stuff, absolute audio
They
files.
do live radio, or you sign up for your show, or how's it work?
They do live radio. It's a totally volunteer position. This is all about the love, you know. But somebody like Fran Fried is a wonderful and knowledgeable disc jockey, and does challenging.
I remember when she had the shows
great
at PKN. Is she
Oh,
still
yeah.
in this area?
Yeah, Connecticut, Hamden. I'm pretty sure.
And how do they pay
Whitneyville,
the bills at Cygnus Radio?
Through the largesse and the generosity of people like Rick Allison and Dennis Lamar and Gary Gahn, who work for this sort of stuff.
So but you did host Cygnus shows, right? At
Yeah.
Cafe 9.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. For 6 years I hosted the Sunday Buzz, and that was
I went to
sponsored
a lot
by
of those. Those are great.
those. That was great.
People my age went to those.
Well, you know what? As it turns out, people our age. When I'm 60, people our age still want to rock and roll. We just want to do it earlier in the day.
And then occasionally sit down.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis has it. She was talking about, she called out Bruce Springsteen. She's like, Bruce, play a matinee. What the heck, man? You trying to kill me here? You know? And which I thought was great, and she's totally right.
And Frank, you also are the host with Rick Allison on WPLR of local band.
The local band show has been on WPLR New
Forever.
Haven for 36 years.
How long you been doing it with them?
I've been doing it about 9.
How do you like that?
I love it. I love it. I guess, you know, like being a part of the local scene has always felt like a family to me, you know what I mean? Has felt like a gang even, you know? And being able to do radio with a legend like Rick Allison is a dream come true. When I was a little kid, I grew up on Long Island. I didn't come from Connecticut, and I didn't know Rick Allison until I was an adult. But I used to make my mom laugh by imitating the voice that I heard on the television. White Diamonds by Liz Taylor. You know, and she used to laugh and laugh when I did the White Diamonds voice. Well, that turns out it was Rick Allison. You know what I mean? And so being able to sit across from him and do radio and play, you know, mental hockey and talk about music and spin records and hang out and eat bagels with Rick Allison is really, really cool.
And you're also going on a tour. Is that to promote the new album? You gonna take it with you, or?
I'm gonna take everything with me, and
You're going to a lot of spots: Fernando Beach, Florida,
Yeah.
Folly Beach, South Carolina, which I've never heard of. A lot of beaches.
Yep.
Nashville, Knoxville. Tell me about Knoxville. I heard because they fly that from Avello here.
sure, yeah, you can go there and see the gig.
Are you gonna fly
for
there?
$41? No, I'm renting a car and I'm driving the whole way.
Mhm.
And a couple of things have already changed, but the Knoxville gig is WDVX Knoxville.
Oh, you're gonna be on the radio.
Yeah, it's called the Blue Plate Special, and I heard of it through other Connecticut artists, troubadours who have been around and playing around and I saw that Sean Taylor played there and Brian Dolzani played.
So
there.
those aren't performances to the public. That's over the air, right?
No, it's both.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
They
a
do live
2-hour
concerts?
performance with an interview just like this.
But where people come from the public and watch
People come from the public and watch, and it's also live on the radio.
at night, or
No, it's during the day.
okay, good for people who can go.
Yeah, for old guys like me, who want to play during the day.
So good luck on the tour. You're gonna be back at Cafe 9 and Best Video at the end of that run. So
Yeah.
whatever happens with the Star election, you're gonna be on the road. You're gonna be playing music, and then you can come back with the Franciscan brothers.
Whatever happens during the election, we're all going to be muscling forward and doing the best that we can and taking a step forward.
And we're gonna be hearing Frank Critelli music because that's part of being
I
in New
can't
Haven.
stop. Can you?
No.
So,
So
and please don't.
So thanks for coming on air today.
Man, thank you so much for
You got
having
a
me.
song to take us out?
I sure do.
What's it gonna be?
This is a song about people and interesting people, and especially about people that you don't know. I love minor characters, like just people on the periphery who I don't know anything about, but I have experiences with them that are very pleasant. There was a guy right downstairs when I walked in the building, you know what I mean, who we exchanged a couple of words. These two nice young ladies over here, I learned some things about them and we exchanged a couple of words. I may never see them in my entire life again from this day forward, but they had a positive impact on my day, and I really appreciate that kind of stuff.
Oh, I think I know which one this is gonna
And
be.
this is a song
the one
about
that Harry plays a lot. Yep.
Harry plays this?
Yeah.
Thanks, Harry.
Frank Critelli on Acoustic Thursday, WNH FM.
The man in the group home down the street from me waves every time I drive by, and I roll down the window to raise up my hand, and we flash each other the peace sign. And it flows like a river the same way every day. I look forward to it every time. I hope you have someone like that in your life who waves to you and makes you feel fine. And the old woman who works in the grocery store, I can tell has the hots for me, 'cause she blinks her fake eyelashes slowly and clicks her gum in a seductive way. And it flows like a river the same way every day. I look forward to it every time. I hope you have someone like that in your life who winks at you and makes you feel fine. 'Cause it's a long way down the river, and it's a long way home. And I hope you have someone special in your life who smiles with you and helps you have fun. And the old man in the tall house next door to me, he walks his old dog every day. And I watch as he walks by my window, and one day I'm gonna say hey. And it flows like a river the same way every day. I look forward to it every time. I hope you have someone like that in your life to say hey to and make feel fine. 'Cause it's a long way down the river, and it's a long way home. And I hope you have someone special in your life who smiles with you and helps you have fun. Yes, I hope you have someone special in your life. Hey, Paul, thanks for smiling with me and helping me have fun. Who smiles with you and helps you have fun?
Well, that's Frank Critelli. Thanks for joining us on Dateline New Haven. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and on the rebound, we're going to be with Sarah Ganong of the Working Families Party, talking about next week's election on WNHH New Haven's home for community radio. awesome.